In today's video, I'll be building a custom 48 volt 20 amp hour battery in this e-bike case. We're going to be using these 21700 5000 milliamp hour BAK Grade A cells. These can do 10 amps continuous discharge each. Here we have the BMS. It's a 30 amp continuous discharge BMS. It works perfectly with 750 watts motors, 1000 watts motors, and the lower ones as well. We have the 3D printed cell holders. These are designed to fit the case without any issues. And here we have the copper connections that I'm going to use. We have them already cut out, so we don't have to do anything extra. We're going to start by placing all of the cells in the right configuration in the cell holders. Let me show you the configuration of this battery for this case. This is the configuration I'm going to be using. This is a 13S 4P configuration, which means that the battery is going to be 48 volts 20 amp hours. We're going to start by placing in all of the cells, and then we're going to start spot welding the battery. As you can see, we have the cells now in the cell holder in the correct configuration. We're going to start by spot welding the battery right now. Over here, I'm starting to spot weld the battery with copper. I'm not doing the whole battery with copper since it's only 30 amps, and the rest of the battery will be built with pure nickel strips. The main current will be going past the copper, and the rest is to the nickel. We have all of the connections done where most of the current is going to be passing by. Let's say this is the second group and here is the third one. As you can see, the copper is going from here to here through copper. Same here through this group to this group. All the series, all of the connection is copper, so that all the currents can go here nice and smoothly. Same here, boom, boom. Current is going through nicely here. I have some pure nickel 0.2 millimeters tabs here. I'm going to just spot weld the rest so that everything is nicely connected and the battery will run nice and cool with the 30 amps. Alright, so we have one side of the battery now fully spot welded. As you can see, we have the nickel tabs done. We have the copper under. We're going to turn the battery around now, and I'm going to start spot welding the other side. So let's carry on. As you can see, we have the battery now fully done. This is the first side. We have the main negative over here. Here we have the main positive. Let me show you how it looks on the other side. Boom, this is the battery on the other side. It looks absolutely perfect. I just checked the resistance of the battery, and it was at 53 milliohms of resistance, which means that at 20 amps discharge, the battery will have only 1 volt of sag, which is absolutely perfect. Let's measure the resistance of each group right now with my resistance meter to check if each cell is connected 100%. So I just tested the resistance of each group, and it turns out that the resistance on average is at 3.9 milliohms, which means that I didn't miss any spot welds on any cells, and each cell is completely healthy, which means that now I can add a blob of solder onto each series connection, and we can start insulating and connecting the BMS onto the actual battery. So let's start adding some solder onto each connection for the BMS. When doing this job of adding solder onto the battery, you want to try to add the least amount of heat onto the actual battery, since the cells don't like high temperature. After adding the solder onto the battery, I'm insulating it with some Kapton tape, and then I'm going to take my clippers and make some small holes on the actual place where the solder is, so that it's easier to solder on the BMS cables later. Alright, so we have the pack now covered up with some fish paper on the top, fiberglass tape all around, and some Kapton tape on top of the actual connections. We're going to start connecting the BMS now. We're going to mount it on top, we're going to glue it down, and then we're going to strip the cable and just solder it onto the copper over here. And then we're going to strip another 10 gauge cable for the main positive here, and add a charging cable there, and then add a charging cable here to the main negative from the BMS. And then we're going to start connecting the actual BMS cables here. We're going to add some fish paper to insulate it even better, and we're going to start routing the cables left and right just to connect the BMS nice and securely. Over here, I'm adding some solder onto the BMS cable. Then I'm going to add some glue onto the BMS and stick it down. Use my soldering iron to connect the cable to the copper. Here I'm going to start routing the BMS cables. The ones that are going on this side I'm going to put under, and the ones that are going on the other side are going to go over. The best way of soldering the BMS cables is by first clipping them down, using your strippers to strip all of them down and applying some solder onto the place where we stripped them, and then one by one soldering down the cables. So we have the first side of the battery now fully connected. We have some fish paper under each BMS cable so that there's no way there would be contact with the copper and the connection. So now we can turn the battery around and connect the rest of the BMS cables. Alright, so the next step in the build is adding the main discharge cable, the positive over here, and adding the charging positive also over here. And then we're going to add a negative here, solder it down for the charging as well. And I'm going to have to extend this 12 gauge cable of the negative outside, since the case that we have opens up from this side, which means that the cables are going to have to go over this side out. So we need to route the main positive out over here, go out there. This one we have to route it down here over here so that it goes out there. The charging port is going to be a little bit extra length, and it's just going to be in the case. When he wants to charge the battery, you can just open the case out a little bit and you can take the charging port out and charge it. So that is the plan. We're going to have to extend this one, as I said, and now I'm just going to solder the cables down onto the copper here. So let's do that. The best way of soldering the thick cables onto the copper is by adding some solder onto the copper first and having your soldering iron on some high temperature. Then I add some glue over the copper to just insulate it. Alright, so as you can see, we have extended the main negative cable. Its output is on the right side now. We have connected the main positive, we have connected the main negative for the charging port, we have connected the main positive for the charging port. They're the same length now, as you can see, and these are very similar length. We have to cut them down and then add a XC60 connector for the main discharge. And that is pretty much the end of this battery. We have to just cover it up with some fish paper. This is how the ending battery turned out. We have it taped up with some fiberglass tape, super strong tape, all around the battery to have it protected. We have the DC port for charging, and we have the main XC60 port for the discharge. Here we have the sticker to connect to the BMS. Of course, you don't need it. You can just connect through Bluetooth instantly. This is how the battery looks in the bag. It fits perfectly. Let me show you how it looks once I close it up. So now we have the battery closed up. It's in the bag. We have the XC60 just going out. It's fully waterproof. The battery fits in perfectly. We have the straps to just mount on the bike, and you just connect the connector to the controller and you can ride. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and see you in the next battery build.